Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to learn about how readers sound like the teacher when they are reading familiar stories. So that means we're going to work on Mrs. Wishy-Washy again. So let's see what it means to sound like the teacher when we read. How do you sound like the teacher when you read? Do you know? I want you to think about it. This picture says, I don't get it. You know what? It's okay if you don't get it either. We'll work on it together. So the first thing is using accuracy. What's that word mean? That's a really big word for a kindergartner. It means that when we read the words correctly. So what does that look like? That means if I am looking at my story, just like when we were pointing to the words, we get to the first page, I'm going to make sure I read the words that I heard. Oh, lovely mud, said the cow. That's why I use my pointer, just like the Bitmojis are. Using your pointer to read the words means you are going to read your words correctly. You will be using accuracy. Let's see what the next one is. Ooh, this one's kind of fun. Rate. What does rate mean? It means how fast you read or how slow you read. So are you going to read really, really fast like you're driving a race car? Or are you going to read really, really slow like a turtle? Or are you going to read nice and evenly? So let's try that out. I'll move to the next page. This page, it says, and she jumped in it. And she jumped in it. Does that sound correct? It should sound, and she jumped in it. And she jumped in it. So if you read too fast, no one's going to understand you. And if you read too slow, you might put somebody to sleep. But if you read just right, it'll sound perfect. Expression. What does expression mean? If somebody says, look at that expression, and they might be saying, look at your face, like what expression did you make? Like, or those are expressions, but when we're reading, it's the sound of our voice, not just the sound and loudness, but how we feel. So expression means I read with feelings in my voice. So if I was reading like a musical, I might be on Broadway or singing, kind of like these pictures, but we'll see. Let's see. I'm going to go to this page because this is a good page for expression. It says, just look at you, she screamed. Oh, was she happy? So I raised my voice to show expression because the word look was really big and I could see that Mrs. Wishy-Washy was not happy at what the animals did because they're all covered in mud. So I read with expression. I changed the sound of my voice for the words on the picture. And the last one, punctuation. Now, punctuation is a really big word, and we only use a couple of them in kindergarten right now, but you need to start knowing what that is because when you read, punctuation helps you tell the story. If you don't pay attention to punctuation, you are going to maybe goof up the meaning of the story. So we're going to use this page again. At the bottom of this screen, it shows different punctuations, and I'm going to point to them with my mouse. It says, I follow the punctuation marks. These are punctuation marks down here. This is an exclamation point. It means you're really, really happy or you're yelling at someone. This is a question mark. It means you're asking a question like, where are you today? This is a comma, and it tells you to take a breath while you read. So, I am at school, but I am working really hard. So you take a breath, you take a pause while you read, and then you have a period. A period tells you to stop. Just like an exclamation point and a question mark, they're at the end of a sentence or the end of a statement, and it tells you to stop and think, and then you continue. Now, these marks are telling you someone is saying something. So I typed the words I said in here because when you see these marks, that means someone is talking in a sentence. So we're only going to use the exclamation point, the question mark, and the period in kindergarten, but you should know the other marks while you read. So we're going to go back to this page again, and you can see a bunch of those marks on this page. But the one that I see that I want to point out is the exclamation point. So just look at you, she screamed. What happened to my voice? It got really, really big because one, I saw the exclamation point. Two, I looked at her and I knew she was not happy. And three, it said she screamed. So that means my voice needs to get loud when I read. Now that is what it means to read like the teacher, because as a teacher, we read to you with our eyes and our mouth. We look at the words on the paper, we look at the pictures, and they help us tell you the story while we read to you. I bet some of your family does that too when they read to you. They might act silly in a story, or they may act sad in a story, or they might get really, really loud and they get very expressive with their words. That is sounding like the teacher when you read. So when you reread a story or you retell a story, make sure you are using all these different things to express yourself, to tell the story. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. Bye.